Welcome to Get Your Mind Right, your regular dose of insights and motivation for merchant service sales, digital marketing, and personal growth.
Hey, good morning. John Johnson here with Get Your Mind Right, the world's only podcast dedicated to digital marketing and merchant services sales professionals. Hey, folks, I want to tip my hat to you. We're growing our audience every day, and it's all because of you and word of mouth. If you like what you hear, if you like what you see, if you could use some of the tips you're getting here, pass those off to your friends in the industry. I really love that about you. So, back to overcoming objections. We're in our 9th episode of this, and we left off on snap decisions and really overcoming those minutia type questions and objections that your merchant might have. So let's go over some new ones here. One you might hear is a merchant will tell you, I don't really like new and unproven programs. These are merchants that may not be familiar with the program, or they think they do, and they have some misconceptions about it. All right? So I've got to go back to my basics on this when a merchant tells me this. I'm going to let them know that, hey, this program's actually been around for more than 50 years. I'm going to talk to them like, hey, have you ever been driving down an interstate before and you see that big marquee on the side of the highway? And they have a cash price and a credit price for gas. The merchant's going to say, of course I have. That's what this is. It's been around for 50 years. The next thing is, and I can't verify this, but the whisper number is there are now more than 2 million U.S. installations of buyer's choice or cash discount. Matter of fact, it's the fastest growing program in the merchant industry. Now, let's shift gears here a little bit. If you folks have listened to me for a while, one of the things that you've heard from me before is there is no substitute for repetition. Any sort of new pitch you've got, new product, a new service, until you pitch it 100 times, not 99, not 98, but 100 times, you're really not getting to a level of proficiency that you need to be successful. Now, this really is what separates a sales professional from what a sales wannabe is, because very few people have the intestinal fortitude to go out there and pitch something 100 times. That is the price that you pay to get in the ballgame of being a top professional, though. So when you do this, you're going to get some benefits. You're not going to strike out 100 times. I can nearly promise you that, right? You are going to get some hits. And more importantly, what you're going to do is you're going to learn on feedback, and you're going to learn about yourself very quickly, what you're good at, where you have room for improvement, and where you need to take this. And when you reach that 100th time, that 100th call, that 100th repetition you have on this, you're going to have a level of effectiveness that's really going to be unmatched to anyone out there with whom you're competing. So for you folks here, is one thing I want to do to address you, especially if you're new, is getting off track, all right? Because here's what happens. Folks really focus on these pitches. You've probably dealt with this with salespeople in the past. And you ask them a question in the middle of their pitch, and it completely gets them off track. And they'll go, well, I'm going to come back to that. And what's happened is they've got to get their whole spiel out before they can change their thought track and get to what your question is. May not even be an objection. It gets them off track. All right? So, newbies, and if this is you and you're a newbie, typically don't like this customer. They want someone that's going to let them allow to go along with the script. So what I want to do today is change your thinking about that. Welcome that customer that throws these kind of comments at you. Well, why? Well, it means they're engaged. They're listening. Right? If I'm not interested in what you're saying, where you're going with this, the last thing I'm going to do is start asking questions or making comments, because that's just going to prolong this conversation. I want it to end. Now, you may say, well, what are you talking about? I'm going down the path. I'm going to take him there. I'm going to preemptively overcome some of the objections. Change your thinking on this. The customer is giving you feedback. He's giving you information. Use this to listen and to better understand the greater solution of the problem. Now, before I leave this, one more benefit to giving this presentation or any presentation 100 times. When you have that level of proficiency with this, you've also become very knowledgeable and very comfortable with this subject, okay? And what you're able to do is to give your pitch out, and instead of me wondering what I'm going to say next or hoping a customer doesn't ask me questions, what I'm doing is I'm focusing on my customer. I'm looking at their emotions. Are they happy? Are they mad? Are they sad? Are they glad? Are they engaged? What am I saying there that they are showing interest in, right? Again, what that's going to do is help my success rate. Now, if you're not familiar with the sport of judo, the founding principle, the guiding principle of it is that you use your opponent's quickness, strength, and movement to your advantage. And that's what we're doing. We're employing the same principles here. So, that's all the time we have for today. I'll see you here next time. Until then, keep your mind right.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 Eastern. Like, follow, share, and set your reminders. And remember, always keep your mind right.